Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about some additional tools and supplies to help you in your dot mandala journey. Some of these things may be beneficial when you're first starting out. Some of them will be more geared towards your intermediate and more advanced. Some things like brushes, I'm definitely glad that I got very comfortable with dotting before I got into swooshes. So if you are new to dot mandala and you've not checked out my previous video on the introduction to tools, I definitely recommend pausing this video, going to check that out, and then coming back and watching the rest of this. One of the best things that I ever did for myself was start making swatch sheets. So every time that I get a new color, I'll actually make a dot with the name so that I can see how it's going to dry on a black surface. Black is usually the color that I work on. If I'm going to be working on a different background color, I will do a swatch on that color as well. But paint is always going to dry differently than what you see in the bottle. So this is huge help to me when I'm trying to plan palettes. And you can also get these great books, great for practice, great for your swatching, and it's just black dot grid paper. I did find this on Amazon. There are some independent companies that are making them as well. I love the grids. They're already laid out to help you with your sizing. Great tool. Swooshes or brush strokes are a great design element to dot mandala. They still very challenging for me, but lots and lots of practice. I do enjoy doing them. I love the end result of them. It does take time, like with any skill. There are more and more companies coming out with their own brushes. You're going to be looking for a set of Irregular brushes. So these are two different sets that I have. This turquoise one, this is from Thoughtful Dots. And this brown set I did find on Amazon, recommended by another dot mandala artist. Yeah, I know Happy Dotting Company just came out with a set. Dots of Love Collective, she's starting to come out with a set. So there are more and more. I do love them. So why do I have these two different sets? So the Thoughtful Dots set is the first one that I started with. I love them. I love how ergonomic and light they are. I personally don't have much rotation in my wrist, so I was really struggling to get clean lines and sharp tails because I can't get enough lift just because of my health and my body. I really have to rest on things, and even though I have an artist rest, which I will show you in a bit, I find that I wasn't getting a whole lot. I love these for larger and longer strokes, and these I'm loving for those shorter, smaller strokes. I'm able to get those sharper tails. So it does depend on what you're trying to achieve, as the brown set does have the longer bristles as well. So I love having variation in the lengths of bristles. They are very comparable in the bend of the bristle while you're working. I do highly recommend both of them. This is not sponsored in any way. This is just my personal experience and preference. Irregular shapes and tools is not something that I've really ventured into as of yet. So this is actually an ellipse tool. This came in my Happy Dotting Company set of dotting tools. I haven't used them yet, but I definitely want to. There are many different companies that are doing irregular shapes. So I believe right now this is the only irregular that Happy Dotting Company has. Beyond Dots has teardrop tools. Devon Dotting has oval, teardrop, flowers, spirals, lots of different shapes that she's been working on lately. Dot Art Depot also has ovals, I believe. In Europe, I also believe Thane Rosa is doing irregular shape tools. So if you just do a search for dotting tools, chances are you will find the irregulars as well. So this is the artist rest that I just mentioned. It still has the protective coating on it, but I love this for larger pieces and especially my canvas. It allows me to get up over top of things. It gives me that extra support while I'm working. You can also use wrist supports, like, you know, on mouse pads they've got that little jelly bit, so you can get just that little jelly bit and use that as an extra support. So I do love having that extra support, that ability to get higher up on pieces, rest myself, my wrist, my arm, my hand, what have you, because I am also very shaky. Gives me that extra support. I love mine. Do you need it right away? Not necessarily, but very beneficial. Sets of French curves. I actually really enjoy these different sets. Different angles, different curvatures, different circles, small different shapes. They've given me ideas for different elements on different pieces. They've helped me kind of design an angle. I don't use them a whole lot, but I do absolutely love them. There is a huge benefit to them, especially once you get into designing bigger pieces. Transfer paper. I use this quite a bit depending on the type of piece that I'm creating. So this is Sorrel. I found this on Amazon, highly recommended by multiple mandala artists. You get quite a bit in here, and I tend to just chop off the little pieces that I need. So why would you want transfer paper? So there are many mandala artists that actually create PDFs for you to use. So they will create a design, you can print out that design after you purchase it. Using transfer paper, you can then transfer that design onto your surface. So I do paw prints quite often, so I still have the tape on it. So I will create my design, I will cut out a piece of my transfer paper, I will place it exactly where I want it, and then I'll just use one of my ball stylus tools, just trace it out. This paper transfers quite easily and it wipes off very easily, which is fantastic. I haven't wiped it off while I'm working, but at the end of the design, if I see little bits and pieces or like a smudge, it wipes off no problem. So really like this transfer paper. Stones are a super fun surface to add to your dot mandala practice. I absolutely love casting and painting. It does take some time to get used to all those different curvatures, but you're going to get those beautiful smooth surfaces that you wouldn't get from, say, a river rock or a rock in your garden. I love, love, love working with them. There are a few different companies that are making them. These are the ones that I have tried. I do know that there's other ones out there. So Happy Dotting Company, this is one of your almost spherical molds. Devon Dotting, this is one of the tea lights, probably one of my favorite tea lights so far. If you're not exactly sure if you will enjoy painting stones or casting your own stones, there are artists and companies that are selling blanks. So if you search on Etsy for blank mandala stone, you will find a few different artists and companies that will sell blanks. The Rock Shop company, they sell many blanks. And sometimes if you just reach out to another artist, they may be willing to cast you something for you to try. Working with stones, Happy Dotting Company also has these great silicone templates, because if you're using one of those hard plastic ones, you're not going to be able to wrap around your surface. So I love these. Another great tool for working on round surfaces is actually a fabric tape measure. So you can actually, I'll see if he can lay down and not roll around. Once you get your template on, you can actually wrap around, whereas your ruler is not going to do that for you. He's so cute. More great tools for working with stones. This is actually a tea light plug. So it already has a basic template already set out. So I'll bring Mr. Owl back. He would just sit right in here and he will help me with my guidelines. Super, super helpful. This is from Devon Dotting. Devon Dotting also makes a wedge. I love this. I physically can't hold a stone the entire time to continue to work on it. So with the wedge, suddenly everything's on a nice angle and it's easier for me to work around the stone. Now I do also have this, which is actually just a doorstop from the dollar store. This side has a curvature, so I don't use this side. I just flip it over and then I put one of my handy dandy jar grippers on top so nothing slides. And if things are getting really crazy and I'm struggling to get around an edge, I will even start to stack. You gotta get creative sometimes. Another super high-tech tool that I use is a bag of rice. Why? Because now Mr. Owl will lay there on his back and not roll around on me. So I use my bag of rice for stones, for pots, for jars, anything, glassware would work as well. Anything that's got that curvature, that's gonna roll around on a flat surface, and if I can't physically hold it the whole time, bag of rice is your friend. Is this a roll of tape? Absolutely it is. So this is a roll of frog tape. I really like this tape. It doesn't leave any residue. It applies easily. It adheres well to my surface without letting paint kind of creep in under the edges. Lifts off easily. I really like this tape. So why would I be using frog tape? Things like the edge of a notebook, or the edge of a cup or a glass or a pot, or if I'm even doing like quadrants on a surface and I really want that sharp line, those are different times where I would use this. Super helpful. I'm not really sure if I should let everybody in on this little secret, but I'm gonna do it anyways. It took me a long time to find a product and search through comments and search through videos because nobody would tell me. So drawing gum. So this does go on liquid. You apply it with a brush, you let it dry. I love this. I love it. I use it quite a lot because I'm doing kind of weird shapes and weird edges. So for example, I actually use the drawing gum on Mr. Owl's wings. So because I wanted that sharp edge, I drew on, you know, kind of where I wanted my edging to be, and then I painted that on. And then once the painting was done, I just lightly kind of rubbed off an edge and just lifted it all up. And I got these beautiful sharp lines, which I wouldn't have been able to do if I just freehanded it. Some different fun additions that you can use in your work, different types of paint, different types of drops. You can also get acrylic paint pens and markers for those nice, super straight, smooth lines. This is a 1.2. It is a little bit thicker than what I originally wanted. So I am on the hunt for those finer tips. But I also use these for signing my work on the back, so they will stay there. So this is 3D paint in a pen. Oop. Here we go. So I just found this at my art supply store. Sometimes you can find them in craft stores. I'm sure you can find them on Amazon. So this is Artist Loft. I've also seen Pearl Pen, I believe, on Amazon. So it's going to get those nice high 3D dots or lines if you're looking for that. You can also use cones. I personally have not used cones yet. I don't have the dexterity to be able to keep the pressure while doing cones. I see a lot of incredible work using cones. So if you're interested in that, definitely search for artists that are using cones. I know Electric Mandala on Instagram. She uses cones a lot, and I believe on her Etsy store she actually sells the empty cones as well as pre-filled cones. So this is just an empty bottle. This came in a set with a bunch of different style tips, so different size, kind of like syringe needles, but it's not actually going to stab me. So you can actually create your own using paint and different mediums. I will be doing a separate video on mediums. And everybody's always asking about those, again, 3D dots, that effect. Nuvo Drops is probably the most highly recommended product for creating those drops. This is such a pretty color. I'm not actually going to use it right now, but I really want to. I should make something just so that I can use this. So if you can find Nuvo, if you're in Canada, Dots of Love Collective, she is now carrying them. That's where I ordered from. Super, super excited about these. I hope these supply and tool suggestions were interesting to you and hopefully helpful to you in your dot mandala journey and practice. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments or any suggestions about something that you'd like to see on this channel, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I really love reading comments and I look forward to your suggestions. See you all in the next one.